6 resolutions anyone thinking about retirement should have for the new year. It's that time of year again, New Year's resolution time, but with the focus on getting ready for retirement. That's me. I'm getting ready for retirement. So my very first one is to reflect on my spending for this past year. Now, you could gather all of your credit card statements, your bank statements, and really take a deep dive and really look and track and all of that down and try to figure it out. For me, it's a big job, but I've been tracking my spending for the past several years, so it was really easy to take a look. Now, when you first start tracking, my tip to you is to don't take a deep dive until after you've done it for like 3 months. The goal is to track your spending, your real spending, and not to create a false accounting of your spending. So after a few months, I found that the information was so useful that I've just kept it going. And it really has paid off. It does take a lot of work at first, but with technology, it really is easy to keep track of it all. You can have apps, you can have special software. I don't. I use just a simple spreadsheet. I use Apple's numbers. But you could use Excel, you could use Google Sheets. I like numbers because it's on my iPhone, it's on my iPad, it's on my laptop, and it just takes a few minutes to input the spending. Of course, some of my friends are annoyed when wait, just a minute, I have to put it in my information, but it's really good to keep that tracking. So tracking the monthly expenses for an entire year, you can really get a better understanding of where all your money goes. And that's the important part. And now what I do is I take a look on the 15th of every month because I want to make some adjustments along the way. Another tip is to have a few spending targets. My spending targets are dining out, entertainment, transportation, and groceries. Now each has a special spending cap, so I try to keep within that number and I keep an eye on it. Of course, moving towards retirement, I need to keep my living below my means currently so I can have a more realistic spending plan for retirement. Track your spending today. Give it a try. It should be your number one resolution for 2025. Number 2, build a better budget. Yes, create a budget. Remember, it's a roadmap to your spending and it can help you along the way. So after looking at my spending for the last year and rechecking last year's budget, the resolution is to have a more realistic expectations and goals for this year's budget. Just like a GPS, which gets you to a certain destination, my destination is retirement. A budget will help you look ahead and factor in those big ticket items. Car expense example is due in May for me. So many people look at a budget and think that it's all about saying no to yourself. When you don't have a budget that's based on your real spending habits, you'll fail to see the big picture. For me, the big picture is that I want to make my finances are real for retirement. I've already done some calculations for my income when I retire. So my goal is to live within that amount, and testing that out on my budget now is better, and it will help me even motivate me to save more money in the future. Resolution number 3 is, of course, to build emergency funds. Now, most Americans can't afford an unexpected emergency expense of just $400. It's no brainer to put money into savings, but especially for emergency funds. To have a strong liquid cash reserve is important to have a ready cash in retirement. Just a few weeks ago, my tire was deflating and I wasn't sure what was going on. And having that emergency fund, I didn't have to worry about it. I just took the money and paid for it right then and there. It was great. Now, I'm lucky because later this year, speaking of my car, I'll finally have it paid off. But I'm going to keep having that payment taken out of my paycheck and put directly into my savings account. And then later on, I'll have a really nice down payment for a future car. Now, of course, you don't want to forget, there's always going to be those big ticket items: car insurance, home maintenance, taxes. But having a budget will show you the reality that you've planned for it. Now, if you like my content, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up and think about subscribing to my channel. Back to the resolutions. Number 4, create a timeline. So my retirement is less than 2 years away now, and I need to make sure that I'm on track for that magical moment. Now, creating a timeline with the built-in benchmarks is one way. For example, I need to know when my official retirement, when my work needs to know my official retirement days. Now, when does my job, does it ever have any bonuses or anything like that? Do you get a bonus? If you do, then think about when you want to retire. If your bonus is at the end of the year, then you want to make sure that you're retiring at the end of the year, or at least at the beginning of the next year. The one thing I'm looking forward to is taking all of my unused vacation days and cashing that out. But at the same time, I want to avoid paying undue taxes, and I also want to build up my savings account as well. So putting that in my timeline and knowing exactly when and where to do that, that's really, really important. And putting it in a timeline is a perfect place. The one big question that you need to ask yourself is, when's the best time for you to retire? Number 5, getting rid or paying down credit card debt. Now, I'm ahead of the game on this since I have no credit card debt. Yay! I've paid it off twice. Yes, it's the most liberating thing that I've ever done. And I'll tell you, paying off debt was not easy. And I had to do it twice. Yes, I had to do it twice because when you buy a house, you need things. And of course, I bought some things and I put it back on credit card. I got it more debt. But thankfully, the second time, it wasn't as bad as before. But still, I had allowed myself to do it. I had no one to blame but myself. I'm not alone because so many have paying off credit card debt as their number one New Year's resolution. Now, there's many methods out there. There's the snowball method, the tackling credit cards with a high interest rate. I use the snowball, and as soon as I finish paying off one credit card, I use that payment to do another one and another one, and the momentum is really exciting. You can kind of see your debt decrease. It's not easy. It is not easy, and I will not say it. You do go through a period where you're not doing things that you would like to do, but you have to think of the end picture. My one advice is, along the way, while you're paying this down, is to really pay attention to how and why you got into this credit card debt in the first place. And if you don't take a deep dive into that spending habits, you're just going to get back into it. Now, I was going from paycheck to paycheck. I was paying minimum amount on the credit cards. And remember, credit card companies make their money off of interest payments. And right now, the average is 21%. So trust me, it's so liberating when your credit card balance is zero. The last thing you want to do going into retirement is have credit card debt. Number 6, explore and put into place legal documents. Do you have a will? Medical power of attorney? Legal documents are all in order? Well, it's one of the most important things to have in place, but especially before retirement. You don't think, we just don't think. I don't want to think about it, but guess what? Our lives are going to end. There will be a time that I will no longer breathe. You want to make sure that you go out with everything in order for your family, for everyone else. And so get these important documents together. And I can't believe I've waited this long, but I'm definitely going to be doing it this year. If you're new to my channel, I'm Keith. Started working at 15 entry-level jobs, fast food waiter, then went to college, became a teacher, taught school for over 20 years, and for the past 16 years, I've worked at a large public library system as a department manager. Now, here's a bonus resolution. It's a lot. Spend less, save more, make a plan, and have more choices in retirement. I've started my countdown to retirement. I hope you have. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.